Hello and welcome. We're picking back up where we left off last time in Songs of Six. Once again, this is the beginning of another stream. I still suspect we probably need more charcoal and that it's not moving / being stockpiled effectively, but for the moment I think we're good. We left a barber in construction. Did I assign there to be barbers in every neighborhood? Yeah, okay, so I think we're at the point where we need to wait for the barbers to be completed and built. That's going to provide a happiness bonus, which will allow us to continue growing in theory. Debatable whether or not that will be in practice, but let's say in theory for the moment. I think we're going to continue to work on improving services, which is mostly basically implementing a service, acquiring more knowledge, implementing another service. We're trying to keep everything else relatively stable. There is an argument for doing more significant exporting. There's even an argument for trying to do some more rationing, sending off the rations to generate more money. Okay, I think that's what we will do. Let's set you to rations. And then we want the ration set pretty high. We want it being exported if the stockpile is going to be absolutely full. Yeah, there we go. 90% of the stockpile full for rations. I think it'll work pretty well. So let's get the game on pause. Let's get this construction being done or completed or whatever. There's lots of little tweaks we can do probably to improve various efficiencies. I'll pop that to the world map for the moment. We do have Ortega. This is where the battle happened recently. That's still recovering from the raiding. We would like to probably start getting extraction going on from there again. A lot of the other places... Oh, and here we'll probably arguably want to do that. Because that still gives us enough target space to get up to the 3rd level. So actually, we will do that. That'll free up some more workers, which in theory gets us more taxes. A couple different other places where we can probably do about the same thing. Really, we want to be like over 300. There's certain breakpoints where you want to be with the growth. 300 is one of them, 600 is another. Otherwise, we can let the places shrink and effectively benefit from more tax revenue, if that's the case. So again, we can go down a step here, free up the workers, because we don't need to maintain that many people there. And we can't do that there, and these need what they've got to get to 300, yeah. Anyway, that frees up some workers and we can assign those to other tasks later. Yeah, our tax revenue right now or our revenue is not super great. There is maybe an argument to do more exporting, although we did just set some up in the ration exporting. So we'll see how that goes. Meat is 37, rations are 49. So we are getting more value, although maybe that's a different debate, right? Is the ration maker throughput high enough to warrant the swap? Find the recipe on the ration maker. So we're 3 to 3. Okay. Yeah, so that's probably the case. If it's 3 to 3, we're going 3 meat to 3 rations, and right now we're importing the herbs. So it's maybe debate whether the herbs are cheap enough for that. 5 recipes is 0.75. Doesn't quite nicely math out. So the herbs are divided over, say, 7 batches. So divide the herb price by 7. It's about 1 or yeah, divide by 7, so that's about 31 per batch. So it probably actually isn't worth converting the meat to rations, just export. Just because the ration price is so expensive. So that's potentially an argument to actually make more rations, so we import less. Okay, so our barbers are coming online. Barbers are pretty heavy staff-wise, so we're gonna have to let more people in. Let's go up to 270. And this is gonna be a slow growth. Although we should see barbers very rapidly gain in access. Oh, and I need to improve housing accessibility. Oh, over here we don't even have these guys leveled up to... Well, there's not many jobs over here. Maybe come back to those ones. The north neighborhood, I think, is fully upgraded. Yeah. Central neighborhood is fully upgraded. So that means it's the south neighborhood and that neighborhood over there. Need upgrades. And some of these have actually been upgraded. Maximally. But yeah, hopefully those barbers are effective enough at providing their service. Yeah, we don't need... Hopefully that we only need as many as we've got. We don't need more. Access is going up pretty quickly. So that will help with fulfillment, which should help with migration. Which should help with dealing with the unemployment shortage, or the overemployment shortage. New cost, cut stone. This tier's cut stone as well, yeah. So I think we'll focus on the larger neighborhood upgrading first. Let's make sure we have enough housing. And again, population should in theory be slowly increasing. Money in, money out, so we're definitely not making a bunch of revenue. And then I think most of what's trying to be imported is either herbs or eggs at the moment. Yeah, waiting for the city to grow, or at least the workforce to grow. So this isn't... This is what I need to keep up with getting the housing expanded to sort of meet with them, keep up the workforce, I think. Yeah, barbers coming up. We may turn the barbers down a little bit if we had 100% access. And we're still having a worker issue. Trying to figure out 800. Do I have these fully employed up? I do. Well, actually, one of them short a couple workers just because we have a worker shortage, but yeah, pretty much they're hired up all the way. Put some more housing in, and then actually building more housing. There is an argument that the way we're going about increasing our housing is not necessarily beneficial to sort of keeping costs of maintaining the population low. It's mostly helping with keeping the population dense, leaving space for other stuff. Yep, population is growing slowly. We've almost got all the odd jobbers caught up with. And yeah, people have been migrating in. Generally been migrating in. And the barber effect might be leveling off, which would actually be a little bit of an issue if that is the case. Although we've got a couple of the barbers that are really heavily worked and a couple that are not. Might be also what's going on. There might be specific neighborhoods like this neighborhood, for example, where the barber down here and the barber here are maybe not enough. And then we have enough elsewhere. Give it a little bit more time to kick in and have an effect. Yep, otherwise I think the city is slowly growing. How goes our regions? Tega is back up to over 300, so we'll upgrade the main housing building. Which should help with its continued growth. And then some of these places like here, I think we will add some entertainment. Region happy. Yeah, we'll add some entertainment here. We've actually got the army here, which is why this region's happy. Probably do want to add some entertainment here as well. Keep the workforce for the moment. Livestock sickness. Well, that's not good. Ranchers have reported sickness that is common in these parts that ravage your pastures. Usually kills only older animals and does so infrequently. The recent epidemic is much more severe, and a lot of the livestock requires constant care. Few animals are completely untouched by the sickness, though, and these could be breed a new herd. To guarantee success, the livestock would have to be culled. So right now we got a production malice. If we cull the herd, presumably this is going to deplete some of our pastures effectiveness, but we're going to get plus 5% on what's left. We will go ahead and do that. I'm not too worried about the fact that we're basically losing short-term eggs there. So we're going to need another source of happiness for when the army leaves. Although it doesn't necessarily need to be the strongest. Or either that or I've got to keep the army here, right? We've got, I think, the whole army group here. No, we do have the army split into so the other bit somewhere else. Here's the other bit. Included. We're also dealing a little bit with money issues, so I could just crank the tax rate for the moment. Using the advantage that the army is making it so the tax issues are not as severe of an issue, let's just say. In theory, the place should grow to 600, which is what we want. I don't think we can get so much growth here that we can get to the next tier. Yeah, that would be more than we can get with our existing workforce. So it's not going to be enough. Interesting. So for whatever reason, our estimation on leather must be wrong. Because it's estimating a massive decay rate, but we're... Oh, this might be from the culling, right? So we might have got a bunch of leather in or something from culling the herd. Maybe. Look at it a bit, see if that makes a difference. Or if that difference continues. We've got 26 odd jobbers free now. We're not quite at the 2,700 that we set. We have about 5 more people move in, which will, in theory, take the rest of the housings, which is why we need more housing. Let's do more housing upgrades. Okay, so I think it's this batch next. Really work through that. Provides us more housing. And then from a knowledge standpoint, we've got 21 knowledge. This is not enough to pick anything up. And I got 15 innovation. Yeah, I think we need to expand something for export. And if we're expanding something for export, it probably wants to be pottery. Start exporting some pots in larger quantity. Pottery is crude. Apparently don't actually have a lot of existing pot manufacturing. Let's, I think we have export set for it already. Yeah, we do. So right now we're forced at the point of either I need to expand stone production. We don't really have much expansion potential there. Or I need to have more income so we can reliably handle imports. So one workaround is I could try to reduce our dependency on egg imports by making more egg farms. Yeah, let's work on import mitigation, not export mitigation. Instead. What does the soil up here look like? Okay, so the good soil sort of just continues out that way. And we got a patch down here. Let's actually take advantage of this patch down here. Yeah, because I'm not going to want to push water up into the forestry area there, so might as well use this patch in here. We'll turn the speed down a little bit while we're working on this. Lubidine. Okay, let's try a pasture that looks like so. Go a little bit higher, I suppose. maximize the usage of the fertile land there. I have a gate. A couple huts for efficiency purposes. Here we go. So we'll let that get put in first. And if I need more wood, eventually I could put forestry. Or if we're looking to make some alcohol, we can put some of the fruit making up there. Okay, the road came in pretty quickly. Wood's gonna need more work. And yeah, definitely not appearing to make very much money. Cutstone is coming along. This is one of the reasons I'm holding off on doing more services right now. Is that's most of our services I think we've got left to do. Either I need to bring more knowledge in, or they're all cutstone dependent. Have all the stages been upgraded? Yes, all the stages have been upgraded. Our posts have been upgraded. Bakers have been upgraded. I think was it a market upgrade that I've got? No. Oh no, that was a food stall. Let's see if I can click on a market to check. Requires extravagant markets. Don't I? I have extravagant markets. So that should be doable. We're just short on the cuts. Right, so if I can support importing the stone to make it a cut stone, then we can do those upgrades. We can also work a little bit on housing if we need more housing. Oh, we've got some deranged people who are not actively being treated. So that might mean we might be starting to contemplate needing a bigger or another insane asylum. See if that continues to stay that way. Okay, Globadine pasture is done. We've got odd jobbers, so there's definitely an argument to get more Globadine pasture. Build another one of you. Do something like that. A little bit of gate. Actually, put the gate closer to over here. And of course, some huts. This one's a little bit bigger than the last one. In actual work output. Like so. We're going to have a little bit of a vertical road there, just to allow some transit through here. Oh, turn this oil off for the moment. Let's see, turn this oil back on. Oh, these No, that's... Yeah, no, that doesn't work very well. We'll have to run the farms first, and we'll put the road along the top of the farm. That's what we'll do. Again, this should hopefully result in more eggs being produced, which will be a benefit for the economy by reducing the imports. Pop out onto the world map for a moment. How goes you in growing back up to size? Not quite there yet. Once it's back up to size, we're going to start taxing eggs out of it again. Or actually, we were taxing meat out of it, meat and leather. See how that looks afterwards. Yeah, so you're the only one that's large enough, well, moist enough to go up to 600. Yeah, small desert empire here. I'll need to go chop down some more trees. The odd jobbers chopping down that forest there. Yeah, waiting after the slaughter. We're waiting for the population, I think, to grow back up to being adults. Yeah, we got 3 of 18 adults here, so our egg production's a little bit lower than it would otherwise be. A decent number of idlers. Okay, let's run something like that, and then we'll run a gate over here, and a couple huts. The huts, position-wise, doesn't really matter. There we go. It's going to cost a bunch of wood, but this again will provide, in theory, in the long run, a lot more eggs. Short run, we still got to wait for the adults to get to full size. It may also help a little bit with our meat shortage. Currently processing more meat than we are outputting. Although we used to get meat from taxes that we're not currently getting. Which is probably playing a part there. Cutstone is improving. I think we'll take the time to upgrade these guys at least one level over here, because we're going to have a lot more jobs in the area. The new pastures. There we go. So they're all up to a +1 level. Okay, so there's another 18 down there, and there's all the ones here to upgrade. After that, we'll have to start building more houses if I need more housing. Although what's ever going on right now is providing me with a lot of idlers, so I got a lot more workforce than I was planning on, which is good to see. I suppose, was it the barbers were set to... Barbers set to, like, automate? Yeah, the barbers were set to automate. So as the barber need was fulfilled, the number of barber workers went down. Yeah, so the barbers are basically good, markets are good, laboratories are good, benches could be better. Environment-wise, I think we could probably get more from torches. In fact, torches can be upgraded. Statues as well. Tavern will need drink before we can really make good use of. There's upgrades to hearth speakers stages that we haven't researched. Food stalls as well. Bathhouses I still think is charcoal kicking us in the butt, but we're just not making enough charcoal for whatever reason, although I suspect that's wood related. Wells have an upgrade. And then, have I just partially done the market upgrade and haven't finished? That might also be the case. Yes, I've partially done the market upgrades and we still have 3 more to go. That's what's going on there. It would also help. Oh, I think we had a graduating class of children. That's why we're over 2,700. Yeah, still technically consuming more eggs than we produce, which means we're trying to import them, and obviously not succeeding as well as we would hope. You over 600 yet? No. I think that's probably why I put the, kind of put it, why I overgrew the city, right? I could put growth up higher and get it up faster, and then we'd have to probably pop back in to modify it, which I don't really want to bother doing. Didn't put happiness in there. Might mean there's actually a good argument to bring the army over there. You are happy. Well, you're yellow at the moment, but in theory you have positive happiness on everyone. So let's take advantage of the fact we put a happiness building here, get a little more taxes out of you. You currently have the army positioned at you. In theory, I think you would probably be happy. The army wasn't there. Let's move the army to the unhappy place, or the place that's expected to be unhappy, because we don't have a happiness building there. No happiness building here. We might be bouncing the army back and forth between those two. We'll see. And you're reasonably happy. We'll get away with raising a little taxes here. Gonna go all the way up. Okay. And same here. We're gonna raise the taxes a little bit. Because we've got the stage. We've provided them with services, so we extract monetary value from that. Yeah, I'm going to resist the urge to continue expanding the pastures, because I think we need to wait until the Globadine hit adulthood, so we know what they're actually giving us in yields. Some of the older ones are getting pretty close to being full. So let's click these guys to auto-employ as well. Anyway, you do want to probably finish improving the markets. Is that enough there? Quite. Oh, in theory we're now meat positive, which is good to see. Well, that might just be to inefficiency on the ration makers, because they've been shorted. Although we have plenty of rations, so that's not too concerned about the ration makers at the moment. One thing I might do is, what's our health looking like? It's pretty good. At some point I probably need more physicians, but let's turn the food servings down. Let's lower the strain on the eggs, the fish, and the vegetables. As well as lower the strain on importing eggs, obviously. And here we're getting decent eggs, at least from the ones on good soil with a large number of adults. The newer ones are all really young and basically have no adults, so they're not very productive from an egg perspective. Although they've got really large animal numbers, so once they reach maturity, they should be pretty productive. And yeah, at some point I'm probably going to have to expand the vegetable fields as well. Is this good soil over here? This might be a reasonable place to put a pump and fields if it is. Yeah, this is a good bit of soil over here. So I can put a pump here, run the water actually horizontal, and or pump over here. And well, this is till. The till isn't as good as the fertile stuff. Although for fields, it's probably fine enough. Same for the pastures. It's probably fine enough for the pastures. Whereas we want to try to keep both of those off of alluvium, unless we're desperate. Upgrade that market. Yeah, you got pretty low workload, so there's maybe an argument to not upgrade that one as much. Let's have a rushed upgrade. Although, still from a quality standpoint, as we expand, we may want to have the quality there already. This is probably a situation of I'm checking the watch pot too much. Yeah, I think our relative funds income is definitely getting better, as we're now seeing the eggs actually stay above 0 longer. Yeah, the libraries are apparently not consuming as much as they're expected to consume for whatever reason. And we've only got one that turned on. And we'll need more library at some point, because I'm going to need to do exquisite dining. They're going to want to push into Glory to Starry, which is through a bunch of other techs. High entertainment, that sort of stuff. Oh, some indication we might actually be generating some revenue now. Net revenue. Looks like net revenue is trending up. That's good to see. And that's probably trying to reduce the egg cost. The big things we were importing is, well, we need to import stone, because at this point it doesn't really make sense to increase stone production. We probably need to import, well, we don't actually need to import eggs. So that's one of the things we've been doing is we've been increasing egg production so we don't have to import it as much. We've been importing herbs. Herbs probably actually make sense to import where we are because we're in a very hot climate, so it's very unproductive. We're importing clothes. We only import about 1/4 of our clothes, so we don't import very much clothes. We don't make tools. We're importing those, although we're only basically importing that to maintain maintenance, so that's pretty cheap. Let's see a place where we should probably put a little bit of road in at least. There. Got enough cut stone, we can do another one of the marketplace upgrades. Got one more to go. And maybe the housing upgrades, we have all the houses upgraded. Still slated to import eggs. We're still consuming a bunch of it. In fact, I think consumption has grown because we've more reliably had it in stockpile. Somewhere we're going to want to make more fish, so we can let them use fish as furniture. Yeah, health is getting a little low. It's probably time to do another pass on the positions. Let's spread these out around. It's got a decent coverage of them. Dominator cloud sighted. Dominator cloud was sighted nearby. Rare phenomenon. The cloud-like entity moves across the sky at a glacial pace and influences the mines around it randomly. But this is causing a increased chance of derangement. Okay. While this derangement can eventually be cured, once the cloud leaves, the affected will try to follow it. Training them just causes them to expire from the exertions. Opiates will be needed, it says. Put that there. Okay, that will work. What I'm going to do is we can click on you and do a quick edit. Put the door in where we already got a door in the neighboring building. Let's call that good. Get another copy of you. And again, I probably want one down here as well. Yep. Looks like it fit reasonably there. Put one there. Okay. We'll get those positions in. That should provide us a health bonus to offset the fact we're getting less health from food servings. Definitely getting a lot more from Globadine pastures. Well, we could definitely do it more. Then Otega... Has Otega finally hit 600? Now, as you can see, the rest point is 631, so we're going to get slower as it gets closer, is kind of the problem I'm running into. Right now, the only group that is growing is the Nandorians. Yeah, the only one's still growing, which is why the growth is seeming so slow. A little bit more taxation. Taxation's good. I suppose we could use some of the workforce here, so let's go ahead and get some of this workforce assigned. Most notably, max out the Workers Guild. It provides us more workers elsewhere, which notably, elsewhere means we collect more taxes. There's workers, odd jobbing workers in the realm map generates taxes. Okay, so that position's up and working. That one got finished. That one got finished. So on and so forth. So we just gotta give it some time. Those should kick in and provide a nice health bonus. Okay, so we're getting a request. We're basically being told, hey, you're gonna get attacked if you don't pay up. Uvaleta Ranchet. Let's check what raider that actually is. 20 soldiers, which would be going up against our 40. I suspect that they would lose. I think I'm going to actually go ahead and create another batch. Another 40 large batch. Actually, make this a 20 large batch. This one is actually so they can go around and do flanking if we get them trained quick enough. I don't think this batch is going to be trained quick enough, but for future fights. So yeah, we gotta... Oh, that was the message. We're gonna message here for an incoming one. We're gonna say we're gonna decline the offer. Actually, I think this is a good place to put a part break in. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll have another part up tomorrow, and obviously we'll have that fight, because the bandit is probably coming at this point. The bandit fight tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. We're going to have a short break here to get up, stretch, so that I can get up, stretch the legs, sip some tea, and then we'll be back to record 3 parts. So until the next part, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.